Age: 15. Gender: male. Height: 5'10". Weight: 130 pounds. Dosage: 750 micrograms of LSD, 350 mg MDMA, 3 mg Xannax, ½ gram dabs. Date: December 7, 2022. Time: 11 a.m. I woke up and immediately dropped to 150 microgram LSD tabs. I had been binging Xanax and amphetamines for a few weeks. I ordered them from the dark web and let them dissolve. My last trip was 6 months ago and the highest I'd ever done was 75 micrograms. I played games while I waited for it to kick in. About 30 minutes later, I noticed strange patterns in my floor and vibrant colors on my screen. 12:30 p.m. After playing for another hour, my mom got home. I have a pretty bad relationship with her and she doesn't approve of 90% of the stuff I do, so I went to my room. I decided to drop 3 more tabs. I don't know why I did this, but I immediately started tripping balls. I watched South Park and took dabs for about 30 minutes. 1:15 p.m. I keep 3 snakes, one of which is a venomous water cobra. I have pictures of the snake if any of you believe me. I noticed the beautiful patterns and decided to hold it, without my protective gloves or snake hook. I've owned this snake for about a year and have it pretty much docile. At this point everything around me was warped. I don't know how to explain it, but inanimate objects in my room were moving, and everything was enhanced but slightly blurred. I started noticing flying white sparks around me and stopped paying attention to the snake. I let him climb on my hands where he could easily bite me, but luckily, we were both calm at the time. However, he decided to defecate on my bed, where I spent almost all of my time. I put him back, and this is where the trip got bad. 2 p.m. I had to leave my room because the snake's shit smelled so bad. I couldn't even get the laundry machine to work, so I just left them on floor next to it. Since I couldn't wash my sheets, I couldn't be comfortable in my room. I have mild OCD which I inherited from my mother, and because of this I decided to take a bath to clean myself from the snake, even though the shit didn't even touch me. 2:15 p.m. My parents don't allow me to have a phone, but I have a secret one. Even though both of them were at home, I started blasting cloud rap in the bath. My mom heard the lyrics and got upset, and told me I couldn't have my laptop in the bathroom nor listen to that music. I just said okay and turned the music off. I didn't know what to do and thankfully she didn't pry. I just lay there for about 30 more minutes, and I started noticing the face of my ex who committed suicide 10 months ago and everything. I just stared at the ceiling and finally convinced myself to move. 3 p.m. I was having bad anxiety about getting in trouble for the music. I went back and forth from my dad to my mom's rooms asking if I was in trouble, waiting a few minutes and asking again about 5 times, each time them saying that I wasn't. 3:15 p.m. I started to realize how bad the trip was, so I took some of the last of my Xanax to ease the anxiety. I listened to Crystal Castles and Crimes, but still kept focusing on my worries, and having no cool new hallucinations. 4 p.m. My grandpa, who I now live with, came down to my room as a surprise with food and $40. I went to rehab over the summer, and my parents hadn't allowed me to have money, but he did it behind their back. I kind of just left the money laying around, a mistake that would come back to haunt me. I hadn't eaten for a few days and barely touched the food he brought me, even though it was one of my favorites. I was pretty barred out at that point, and don't remember much of what he said, but I was horrified of him catching me. 4:15 p.m. I decided to tell one of my closest friends I took too much acid and asked if he could hang out. He came over, but when we hung out I just buried my face in a blanket as he recorded music and made sure I was okay. I was pretty eccentric and was probably hard to talk to. As I hid my face, I experienced some sort of an ego death. I started to realize I was friends with some people I didn't like out of desperation, had sex with as many people as possible to feel more attractive and had so many other things I did to feel better, but actually made me feel worse. 5 p.m. We went upstairs and ate a quick dinner. Although me and my friend barely ate anything, my memory is very foggy here, probably because of the Xans. I remember everyone's eyes being strange colors I can hardly describe however, and the food looking like it was alive. 5:15 p.m. I was somewhat calmed down now, and started to take more dabs with my friend and get properly baked. As I was high, for whatever reason I decided to invite over one of my friends I disliked, and who would dislike me if he really knew me. I tried to record a song as me and my friend both make music together, but didn't like any of it. 6 p.m. My other friend arrived, and we went to go skate. I could barely do a shove it and kept focusing the hallucinations I was having. Eventually we got cold and tired, so we went back to the house. 6:45 p.m. I felt this strange feeling back at my house, in my theater room watching Breaking Bad. I need to feel as warm as possible and I curled up into a ball next to my fake friend. For the record, I'm bi, but this wasn't a romantic or sexual thing. I don't know why I did this. I kept having the same types of hallucinations. 8 p.m. My good friend had to go home, so me and my fake friend got bored. We decided to take more drugs, and he had never done Xannax before, and I had never done Molly/ecstasy. He popped a couple of my bars and I took a 350 mg MDMA pill along with another Xan. We were so fucked up we just kind of laid there for a bit. 8:45 p.m. The Molly kicked in, and I started dissociating. We realized pretty quick he had taken way too much Xanax. He slurred all his words and my pupils were hella dilated as I sweated bullets. As this happened, he told me he wanted to replicate Walter White and Jesse from Breaking Bad. We planned, as well as we could, how we were fucked up. We basically said I would order drugs from the dark web and he would sell them to people at school, not something I ever intend on doing now or even then, and a great way to get caught. I felt euphoria thinking about it though, and thought it would be cool at the time. 9:15 p.m. My fake friend's dad called him. He had no idea what he was doing and his dad immediately told him to go home. We were caught, at least, he was. After he left I noticed he had taken my $40 along with the rest of my Xanax. 9:30 p.m. I went to house but didn't tell my parents where I was going, I just forget. At this point I was peaking on Molly and was stuttering on my words. I went, but his older brother just made me go home, and I saw his dad talking to him. 9:45 p.m. I went home, and my parents had thought I was missing, but his dad had told my parents that me and my other good friend were on drugs, not him, and that he had just gotten second-hand smoke from us. My parents had searched my room and found my weed. I said it wasn't mine, and knowing my fake friend had betrayed me, blamed it on him. They were inclined to believe me, because they're gullible. I'm good at acting sober, and I had been giving them fake piss for months. They drug tested me, I gave them piss and I was good, but they took the weed. I just lay there as I felt more and more depressed. 1 a.m. The Molly come down had hit me way harder than I expected. I was sleep deprived from the night before. I decided I wanted to end it and snuck out of my house, leaving my expensive items at my neighbor's doors. I attempted to overdose on my medication, and I could have, but one of my neighbors happened to recognize it as my stuff and as a warning sign. My parents sent me to live with my grandpa where I live now. I used to do online school, but now I'm going to in person starting next month.